What is going on, you guys? This is Tech HD coming at you with a brand new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new motorized slider from GVM. This is the WS-2D and it offers a lot of features like time-lapse, stop-motion, panorama, video, for example, and has some really cool details like anti-collision, a console control, as well as a one-key lock, and so much more. So let's dive in, take a look at all the features, what it comes with, look at some example footage, and discuss what I overall think. So now taking a look at what we got a very nice carrying case to hold everything, 6 shutter cables for the type of camera that you're using, 2 Sony MPF battery chargers, 2 Sony MPF batteries, each being about 4400 milliamps. Then we got 2 European plug adapters, a heavy duty ball head, and finally the WS-2D slider itself. Taking a look at the slider, we got the console control on the right side. Here you have a DC port if you want to run off continuous power, a camera shutter port, the display to see all the settings, the AB buttons along with the play button that also acts as a pause and stop button, the dial to mess with the settings, and the 4-key navigator to mess with the slide and pan. On the side of the console we have the power switch along with the slot for the Sony MPF battery to power the slider. On the other side we have a 1-key lock to easily prevent the camera from moving when you're transporting the slider. Keeps you secure and safe, and you need to press down in order to unlock and lock it so you won't accidentally switch it. On the middle base we have another DC port for continuous power for the panning feature and another shutter port so you could use a short cable from the camera to the slider and not need to have a long cable running from the other end of the slider to the camera, tugging it as well. We also have a 3/8 thread for the ball head, a locking feature to easily remove the ball head from the slider without damaging the panning motors, and a bubble level on the bottom right. We also have another Sony MPF battery slot on the side to power the panning. And lastly we have the belt and the carbon fiber rails, which are very nice in quality. Now taking a look at the specs of the WS-2D, it is 32 inches in length, it's carbon fiber and has a dual motor. It supports up to 33 pounds horizontally, up to 5.5 pounds having the slider at a 45-degree angle, and up to 4.4 pounds vertically. It also has Bluetooth to control the slider with an Android or iOS, all of this retailing for around $850. Alright you guys, so now I want to give you guys a quick walkthrough of the slider and all the settings and all that. So we got the 2 Sony MPF batteries over here, and to first set it up, first we need to unlock it because if we turn it on, it's going to calibrate itself, and then it'll start to like lock up and damage the motors and the actual rails. So first thing we need to do is unlock it, of course, then we're going to switch it on. And then I got a B camera over here so you can see the settings as well. But you can see immediately it starts to go all the way to the end. And the really cool thing is that it has that safety collision so it doesn't hit and make that noise. And then we got the quick start. So then what we do is we hit the play. And then over here we got the video, time lapse, and then we got stop motion, panorama, and settings. So settings is the very basic. You can either do English or Chinese. Of course we're gonna go to English. You wanna hold it in order to go back one. And then we scroll up. We're gonna do video. We press it down. We got the loop functionality, so you gotta do yes or no. And for this, I will do yes. Then you hit it one time, and then you could change the speed. So then I could do all the way to 100, or I could go all the way to 1%, basically. But we'll do 100. And now what we do is we have an A and a B point. So what we do is we move this dial, and we go 1 to the left or to the right. That's to move the left and right pan. And then we do up and down for the panning functionality. So we go left, let's say for example, we hit A, and then we go back. It has that safety collision, which is nice. We do a little bit of panning, give it a minute, and then we hit B, and then all we do is hit play, and then it'll start from there. You see that the ball head is starting to pan as well as the slider. It's very nice, and the motors is super quiet. It's at 100%. You can barely even hear it, which I really love. And then to pause it, you just hit it one time, you continue, and then to fully stop it, you just hold it. And then you can hit A and B again to cancel it out, and then do something completely different. So I could go all the way to the end, I could hit A, and then I could go all the way to the other end, hit B, and then hit play, and then it'll continue the latest one, which is very nice to see. But that is as simple as it is, very basic, nothing too complex or anything like that. And I really like that as far as the video aspect. And then we're gonna hit stop. And then we're gonna hold this button to go back. And now we do time lapse. So now we press on that. We go into the settings. And then basically when you have your camera and everything all set up, we got the intervals. So then we could do a buffer. and we could go all the way from, you know, all the way to 999 seconds. I like to do about a second or 3, or we'll do about 1 second. And then we'll do shutters, so then we do about 10. And then we hold it to go back, it automatically saves it. We do about time, so then we do the output. You know, maybe we want about 10 seconds. We want the delay, we do about a 3-second delay, that's like the minimum. We hold it, and then we go FPS. You can do 15, 24, 25, 30, 50, and 60. We'll do 30, then we just hold it, and then we are all set. So now when we go back, it'll say 300 shots, and then we set our A and B point. So same thing, we set our, we set our A, and then we set our B. It'll start all the way from the beginning, and then if you had the camera mounted, of course, and you had it connected to the camera, it'll start to do the clicking, it'll start to take the shutters, and then you'll start to see the numbers start to add up here, which is very nice. And now, let's go back. Let's hold this to cancel it. Let's go back into settings. Let's say, for example, I want to do shutter. Of course, I'm going to do about 1 second shutter, and then I can go back by holding this. We want to do about a full minute output. Hold it, and then we'll do about 60 frames, and then hold it, and then hold it one more time, and then you can see that we got about 3,600 shots, which is really cool. So I like that it's all in the GVM. You don't have to go into the app or anything like that. You could just control everything right onto the slider, but you can use the app if you want to, if you're in a location where you can't reach to the slider. Now we hold this, we go back, and then we go to stop motion. Very similar to how the time lapse was. We can do a time, so same thing, we could do the output. We do about, let's say for example, 100. We do a minimum of 3-second delay, and then we hold it to save it. And then same thing, we could do the FPS, we'll do 30, and then hold that again, hold it one more time to go back, and then same thing, we set our A and B point. Now the one thing that I don't like about this is now whenever I go into stop motion, I am not able to move the slider at all. It's locked in, and this is something that GVM needs to fix, because I can't move anything now. I can't set my A and B point, whether I cancel it or not, whether I hold it to stop it. I can't move it. So one of the cons is I have to turn it completely off and then turn it back on, have it recalibrate. It's something weird. Like whenever I go to the stop motion, it doesn't fully do it. Like it'll work every once in a while, but then sometimes it won't. So now I can set my A and B point. Now it works perfectly fine. So now let me do my A, and then we'll set my B, and then we'll go back into the settings. Like I said, that's something that I don't like. So I don't even know what I said before. Let's do about 100. Let's do the delay, 3 seconds, hold that. Let's do about 30, and then hold it one more time, and then we are all set, and then we just hit play and just let it run. And then last thing is the panorama. And then this one, you are just changing your panning. You're not doing any sliding functionality or anything like that. We'll do settings. Same thing, we have a buffer. Let's do about 1 second. We got a shutter. Do about 1 second as well. Go back. Let's say how many photos. Do actually, yeah, 275. Hold that to save it. And then we had a delay. Minimum is 3 seconds. It goes by threes, so you could do 3, 6, 9, so on. Press it, hold it, there we go. And then we hold it one more time, and same thing. And then we got 275 shots, and then we set our A and B points. So A is here, and then we just move this little ball head, and then we set our B point, and then we press play, and you see it went all the way back to the A point, and then it'll start to do from A to B if the camera was mounted onto it. And then of course we could cancel it, press settings, go to intervals, you could change your buffer to about, let's say for example 6. Same thing, 275. And you know, you could do all the adjustments right here into the GVM slider, which I really like now. And that is basically about it as far as the sliders go. And you can see that I did that timer at 3 seconds. Hold this to cancel to fully stop. Hold this to go back, and that was basically it as far as the settings go. Video, time lapse, stop motion, panorama, settings. All very easy, all very basic, nothing too crazy of course. And then you can either, like I said, have your camera connected to this or to here. If you're going all the way from the end and back, I recommend connecting it right to the center. I really like that they have that feature. And then of course, when you want to like move the slider around, you want to turn everything off and you don't want this to move or anything like that, you just lock it back into place. It won't move, so then you can easily take it with you and still have the camera on it and make sure like nothing happens. Of course, don't tilt it fully because then it'll just fall straight down. I don't think it's that strong to hold it. And then of course this has a safety locking feature where I have to actually push down to unlock it, so I don't accidentally hit it and it just straight unlocks. So I have to push down and unlock it in order to be able to freely move this. And then I could just easily slide back and it locks in place, which is really nice. Same thing goes when it comes to unlocking and removing the ball head. If instead of turning this and damaging the motor, I have to hold on to this, move this a little bit, and it clicks right in. You gotta make sure you do that little moving so it goes fully in, because sometimes it could be here and that's not fully in. We'll just move this a little bit. Now it's fully in, and then I can freely remove the ball head and tighten it just in case and not damage the motor and the panning functionality, which is really nice. Now showing some example footage. First we got the time lapse where I wanted to show a bit of the sunset and the scene getting dark. I set my buffer and shutter to 1, my output to 27 seconds, my delay to 3 seconds, and my FPS to 30. This all equal to around 810 shots, and here is the final result. Next we got the stop motion footage. Here I set the output to be 10 seconds and no delay, and I also set the FPS to 30, and I control the slider with the app on my phone to set when to take a picture and to not touch the slider. I took about 122 pictures. Now fair warning, I don't have much experience with stop motion, but here is the final result. Lastly is the panorama footage. Here I set my buffer and shutter to be 1, about 375 photos, and 0 delay. I showed 2 examples with this, one while moving the slider and the other just moving the panning, and so here are the final results for those. Last thing that I want to show you is the GVM Slider App and how you're able to easily control everything straight from the app. You're able to see the battery life of both the X and the Y. You can select which mode you want to use, do a manual set point, enable the looping, add multiple points, and then select your start and end point. Move your slide and pan, configure the slide and pan speed. You can set your move time, your delay, your stop time, output time, FPS, and the amount of photos that you want to take. And finally, you can easily hit record straight from the phone and save the loads profiles. This app gives you everything that you can do. So I overall think that the WS-2D motorized slider from GVM offers a lot of features while at the same time being great in quality. You really do get for what you pay for. The major things that I love are the anti-collision to prevent the slider from damaging the motors, the ultra quiet motors, so even at 100%, the audio from a shocker microphone or from a lavalier microphone will barely pick it up, so it's great for interview style videos. I also love that the one key lock to prevent the camera from moving during transportation, and the fact that you could do all the settings in a built-in console control and not needing to use an app is great, but I'm also glad that they added that option too in case you put a slider in a difficult spot to control. Now, taking a look at the ball head, it's really sturdy and has amazing build quality. It's able to handle my Lumix S1H with a field monitor in weird angles with no problems, and it's honestly just great quality. One of the best ball heads that I've honestly tested out. Now, the way that I usually set up the slider is either with 2 monopods or with a camera slider support arm stabilizer, so that the slider doesn't tilt and tip over during a shoot when it reaches the end of a slider. But in my experience, the support arms doesn't really work that well, and if you have a heavy rig, it'll still tip over the slider, so I much prefer 2 monopods, and I've had no issues with them so far. Now, I've used the slider in already multiple of my videos that will be released after this video or have already been released, and I mainly used it in the video mode, and it has performed great and really smooth, even at the lowest and highest speeds. I love the fact that I could just use the console control and do everything and not needing to use my phone. Now, the only major con that I have is when you switch from multiple modes, the slider will just lock up and can't slide or pan at all, and you would need to turn it off and turn it back on, and it'll have to go through the calibration again, and you would need to apply all the settings again, and it's just a hassle and could get pretty annoying if it keeps on doing it. So hopefully GVM releases an update soon to fix that. Overall, I think that this is a great slider to buy if you want to get into videography or capture some cool time lapse or get into stop motion. This slider has a lot of features to help with that and has great overall build quality. So you really do get for what you pay for. So let me know what you guys think, and if you guys have any questions or concerns, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Follow me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. As always, it's TechHD. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!